Hello and welcome to the 2019 CWL Reveal Show. I am Clint Maven Evans. I'll be your host throughout today as we cover really everything with regard to the next season for the Call of Duty World League. I'll be joined by Merc. Buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, big shout out to Treyarch allowing us to do this here in their studios.
Absolutely.
But I'm so excited to get into the Black Ops 4 season.
Well, we've had a couple betas at this point. We had fun with the multiplayer beta. We had the Blackout beta, which I spent countless hours on. I felt like 10 hours a day. I was grinding. It was so much fun. Now we got to figure out what to do for the next couple weeks because the game, the full launch is coming out on October 12th.
23 more days, boys.
But with the launch of the next title in the Call of Duty franchise, that means it is now time for the next season in the Call of Duty World League. And Joe, we've got big things planned.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Every year the CWL has grown, but this coming season is without a doubt the biggest Call of Duty World League season yet. You know, with a massive change to the structure, a new path to pro system, and the biggest prize pool in Call of Duty esports history.
You know, Joe, we've done reveals like this before. A lot of times we've done them at, like major open events, something like at Dallas. We've broken this stuff down for you, the analysis desk. But today's special. You know, we actually got to come in live at Treyarch and do this for you. It's been amazing to see. We got to walk around Treyarch a little bit, and you see the passion, you see the energy, everybody working their butts off, really, to get ready for launch. And as hyped as the community's been, as hyped as we have been, you see that same kind of joy and excitement and maybe a little bit of stress and fatigue, too, from the staff. But you see all of that here at Treyarch. It's been awesome, and it's great to have us here.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single studio that we step into and we work alongside them with the CWL, they just welcome us with open arms. Can't give a bigger shout out to those guys, especially Treyarch.
Well, it's special for me, too, because, you know, it's kind of coming full circle, right?
Yep.
The CWL inaugural season back with Black Ops 3
membership,
back when I met Vonderhaar for the first time. It's back when we first started this thing, right? We started the CWL. Now, full circle.
2011.
We're back. We're back. Well, okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, I know.
He's a fantastic guy. And I know they're busy, but I'm hoping maybe we can get a few of them to join us over the course of the show. Yes, we're teasing special guest early in this, but we got a lot to break down, and it's going to be incredibly exciting. This is going to be, I think, the biggest CWL season yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to get started again, especially after last season, which was one of the most competitive Call of Duty esports seasons in history.
It certainly was. And before we hop into it, I know the focus of this is going to be 2019. The focus is going to be Black Ops 4, but we are coming off an absolutely riveting season with Call of Duty World War II. I want to just take a moment. Let's take a look at some of the incredible highlights from last season.
Dude, I hope they drop a Zombies trailer towards the end. I do not know. It should have dropped on Monday, Gaming God. This year is going to be really, really good for the competitive scene. These guys are high on G Fuel. You cannot win without being high on G Fuel.
He's been spotted. He's been eliminated. And Team Caliber, your CWL New Orleans Grand Champions.
Do you have any final words for your fans here?
Get used to this. We're gonna keep doing it all year.
In Call of Duty. To be honest, it was fun. But not anymore. But I hope that this time they make it fun. I mean, Black Ops 4 Blackout competitive would be really, really good. Yeah, dude, one more member and I can make like a lot more stuff. For like the emojis and stuff like that, homie.
Luminosity gets the victory.
What is the thing that you're most proud of as a team?
We worked on our map vetoes, we really worked on our teamwork and fixing a few things, and I'm really proud of the guys.
Your CWL Birmingham champion, Luminosity Gaming.
Priest working on the ace to close this out. Scum sitting through mid-map, doesn't have time to work.
Those hit market sound effect always get me, bro.
2018 CWL Stage 1 champions.
It feels amazing, honestly. A lot of people doubted us, doubted me. People still doubt me, and I mean, it feels great.
Stats across the top right. Rise Nation, it is a full team effort, and they just beat the living hell out of EG to win this series. Let them hear it, crowd. Rise Nation are your CWL Seattle champions. Zero, he just has to dive on in. Zero's been the hero.
Come on,
That's
Jones.
It
barely started, man. It barely started. It barely started. Cut some slack to the boys at Treyarch, man. It would be good. Skill, do you appreciate my membership? Proms. I 100% do, homie. You're a legend. You're a legend. But yeah, give them some time. They're gonna announce new stuff. They're just recapping the whole thing, and these guys are like bunch of like. Technically, to win this, it's not wrong to drink G Fuel, but I say drink Nesquik and you can get easy claps. Okay, after this is done, we're gonna get them to announce Black Ops 4 stuff. Or I feel like they're back. No, they're not back. They're doing a recap, Nigel. They're doing a recap.
2 rings for Aches. 2 rings for Apathy.
Yeah, there might be a trailer by the end, so but unsure, Jones. That's why I didn't have it in my title. Yes, I'm
Let's get into
patiently
it.
waiting
We're
for
excited.
that.
Last season was incredible, but we are excited to get into Black Ops 4. And now I do have some very special guests here from Treyarch. So I've got Dan Bunting and I've got David Vonderhaar with me. This is You're Talking, the co-studio head, and also design director, and David Vonderhaar to discuss the upcoming CWL season. First up, guys, what's up? Thanks for having us here.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for having us on your show. It's a pleasure.
How did you get in here again?
I don't know. Hey, we did.
You
we
guys
did,
have history.
We do have history. We did enjoy some time on Blackout together as well. We played one game together. We did not win, did we?
No, you didn't.
Well, just to let you guys at home know, Joe was on our team. Joe had to take a break to bring in David because we needed the beast with us. Unfortunately, I believe Jack ran a helicopter into us. The team fell apart.
Jack, no more helicopters for you.
Yes, no more. But no, we had a lot of fun. The Blackout Day has been incredible, and this is why we're so excited. I mean, obviously we're not talking Blackout here. We're talking kind of the CWL, but even some of these pro players, man. Did you see some of like Priestess stats? I think he played 311 games. He had like 100 and something wins, 1,500 kills. Like these pro players have been having a blast on Blackout. The excitement we've seen resonating with the community, we're seeing that same excitement here. It's got to be fun for you guys.
Well, you know, we're all gamers at Treyarch. I think the passion that you see coming from the studio is the passion that we put into our games. Everyone here, I mean, like, just as soon as Blackout started coming together, you saw people getting on the floor, playing. People were scrambling to get on the playtest list. I mean, you know, trying to fill 80 to 100 player games was, you know, that was no easy feat. So everybody was coming together to play, and it was a daily thing. It's been awesome. The energy's been incredible.
Well, it's got to be a lot more fun when work is fun, right? And
Absolutely.
Obviously saw that kind of as soon as we got here. I'm sure there's some stress and fatigue to go with that as well as we're getting close to. When was the last time you slept? It's been a while.
Right now.
I figured it's probably been a while. But Joe, this is awesome, man.
No, it definitely is. I'd tell you guys, I think we were all a little bit depressed, disappointed as soon as that beta ended.
Blackout is obviously on everybody's mind because the beta just ended. You know, we want more, but we're going to get there soon enough. But we want to focus now on the CWL season. We're pumped. Joe, we're almost there, buddy.
Yeah, we definitely are. And from a design perspective, Black Ops 4 is a new type of experience that will make competitive Call of Duty players really rethink and approach their engagements.
When you talk about being competitive, one of the things we think about a lot is what things can we apply to the design combat loop that will sort of change up the pace of that, make strategic decision point making important. As you know, we've had the concept of reloading, and when you choose to reload, do you reload immediately? Can you do clip management? These are all things that at a very nuanced micro level of time management you have to get right. And the healing is a way to kind of amplify on top of that. So now it's not just about when you reload, but it's also about when you choose to heal and when you choose to do both. And you know, in a game measured in microseconds, it's a big deal to choose to reload at the wrong time. Reload correctly, you compress very fast. Reload incorrectly, you're going to get ganged up on. So I think just one thing that we do. We also, of course, have the specialist abilities where every single specialist has sort of its unique role to play inside the game. All of these roles have sort of influences from our world, but they also have influences from the CWL and the gaming competitive community at large to kind of define those characteristics. And of course, we've talked a lot about the predictive recoil system.
Yeah, excited for that.
I know that's been something we've been wanting for quite a long time.
There's some mastery involved. So we always talk about sort of easy to pick up, very accessible to learn. And then we try to build a loop so that you have sort of the depth of the mastery, so you can kind of become really proficient over the course of the game, sort of learning the recoil patterns of weapons in different situations. So these are just three things amongst probably a whole game that had competitive in mind along the way.
There's a lot that goes into it that sometimes your casual fan might not really think about, or even like some of the professional players, like how much actually goes into developing these games from a competitive standpoint. And I know even for me, when I first worked with you guys back in Black Ops 3, when I first dealt with you, I could see the hunger, the passion from you guys with regards to the competitive community. I came to Treyarch one time, you guys had the CW up on the different monitors, people were watching and people were cheering. It's been really cool to see from my standpoint as a commentator, and we're really excited for the season. But there is also one major item that's going to be different for the Call of Duty World League players next season. Dan, tell me about it.
That's right. We are moving to a 5v5 format this year. The first time ever.
Let's
quite
go,
possibly
boys.
The worst secret we've ever had in Call of Duty World League history.
Reloading
But
my
I can't
BB
wait
gun
to
at a
watch
time.
the best players in the world compete in that 5v5.
Players and fans can stop DMing me and tweeting me now. But Dan, kind of talk to us.
It's official. I know it's been a hot topic in the community, competitive community. We started this game, Vaughn and I, when we actually sat down at the very beginning of Black Ops 4. We said we set out some kind of really big pillars about the game. One of the most important ones was that we wanted to make a game that was as fun to watch as it is to play.
I like that.
I know it's the game industry has evolved. It's changed. People are watching games in some cases more than they're playing them these days. So it's we have recognized that's a big part of the gaming experience, and we wanted to build a game that was fun to watch from the get-go. And a big part of that is bridging the gap between pubs and pros. because it's inspiring to watch pros play our game. It's been something that you mentioned, the energy that you come around the studio when you see people watching the CWL being played, and we love it. That's what we designed the game for. We designed the game for those intense moments, that intense competition, people playing at the highest form of their skill level. And it's just exciting to watch, and we want more people to watch it. That's the thing. Like, we want more people to watch it, so we want to make it more relatable, more familiar to our players at home. Absolutely. And the game that you play on the couch has got to be the same game that you're watching on the tube.
Well, you guys have a good track record. I mean, just thinking back for me, I got involved during Black Ops 2 and obviously commentating Black Ops 3. Like, I can still think of so many insane moments from the CWL. You mentioned making it fun to watch. It's been fun to be involved in, that's for sure, Joe.
Sorry, Joe. It's not just, it's not arbitrary. It's a very considered thing. We know we've been playing 4-on-4 a very long time. The pubs have been 6-on-6. Yep. When we started building for 5-on-5 and we started playing for 5-on-5, we felt it helped with the design goal that we had to make the game more tactical in nature. And that translates really well to the competitive set. Somewhere in the middle of how pro players love to play and how pub players play. And trying to strike that balance. It's a very difficult thing to get right. It's something that we don't take lightly. In fact, we think and talk about it a lot. And it's super important to us because if we need to get all the fans of the regular experience and all the fans of the CWL, and both of those together are much stronger than they are just sort of different and separate from each other.
Yeah, we're very excited. We know this season is going to be an absolute blast. Again, thank you guys for joining us. It's been so much fun in here and in this studio, and maybe later.
Don't tell me this is the end.
Play test for a little bit more Black. Yeah, we'll have to see.
No. Okay. What, you don't want to play with me anymore after our okay, well, I'm going to remember that. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
I thought we were building something special, but we are building something special with the CWL in 2019. We have said that this is going to be the biggest season yet. 5v5 is obviously a big shift. It is a huge shift. We understand that. It's a major announcement, but we have another one to go along with that. We are also going to have the biggest prize pool in the history of Call of Duty esports. $6 million are now on the line for the Black Ops 4 season. Get your squads ready. That's right, $6 million.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to start competing again. Yeah. I might see you later.
No, I've already lost enough people.
I think I'm going to join Vaughn's team, actually. He actually hit me up. I think we're going to play together this year. It's going to be a good year. But again, guys, Treyarch was nice enough to bring Call of Duty Black Ops 4 to the MLG Arena before the beta to give pro players a chance to play the game, experience it for the first time. Let's take a look at their reaction.
It's the Monday before the league starts up.
Hopefully this is not the only thing. Let's see what happens
Call of
after.
Duty for a couple hours. About 20 of us here playing.
But $6 million
right now, testing it out.
Very clean. You wouldn't even find a finished game that is this clean. So
the feel of the game, it's a lot smoother. The way it looks and stuff like that, there's a lot more color in it. So it's overall it's just better in my opinion. It's made competitive off the break, which is what I really enjoy and what I think all the players and the fans really enjoy.
What I'm excited about the most has to be Blackout. Excited for them to basically take over when it comes to Battle Royale.
It's a very fast-paced game with the slide mechanic and different things like that, so it'll definitely speed it up, and I think it'll take like a lot more raw talent. I think predictably going to Black Ops 4, it's like another aspect of the game that we have to master as pro players. It allows us to kind of know how we're aiming, how we're shooting, where we need to pull down, how we need to angle our joystick. People don't give Call of Duty players enough credit for being able to adapt to a new game every single year and learn a new game and be consistently good at a new game every single year. And I think that's one of the toughest challenges of being a Call of Duty pro is being a part of that grind, being able to learn, being able to adapt, being able to ingest all this information and come up with strategies and stuff early.
Treyarch's history in esports and Call of Duty, especially for us, has been nothing but love.
I mean, they were the first one to have Codcaster. They were the first one to kind of add in all these little tool tips and stuff like that. First one with a decent ranked play. So I think Von der Haar and his team over there at Treyarch, they really do care about us. I'm most excited just to get back on a Treyarch game. I think Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 were some of the most fun years competing for me, and Black Ops 2 was actually the game that brought me into competitive.
Whenever you get a Treyarch game, you know that you're going to get, you're going to get something good, and it's going to be, fun to play for the whole year.
The content side of next year is going to be fantastic. So you can get on, you can play some League play some Blackout. You can just stream all day.
Nothing but love for Black Ops 4.
Dude, $6 million.
Welcome back. We still have a lot more to cover. Now, we've lost our friends at Treyarch, but Joe and I are still here. I feel bad for you, but this is going to be amazing because we have a lot more good news to cover, guys. So we haven't got a complete rule set in stone between CWL and Treyarch. Obviously, this is more a first-hand experience that you just saw coming out early before the beta, before people got a chance to play. But that's special for pros to kind of get their hands on with the game early.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head where it was just a great experience for these guys. It was relaxing. It was during the CWL season, you know, very stressful part of their lives. But
it's like the ramp up to champs, and it's like, oh, we have to try the new game.
Yeah, exactly, right? These guys had a ton of fun, and that's what it was all about. But every year, the CWL works, you know, with both the pro players and the studios to help determine things like rules, maps, and modes. And, well, as we get closer to launch, we'll have more opportunities for our pro players to offer feedbacks on the newer builds and really help determine of what the bones of the Black Ops 4 seasons will look like.
There's a lot more information to come. This is more, we're looking at kind of high-level stuff with regards to the CWL 2019 season, and we still have a lot more to cover. So let's kind of hop in. We're going to go level by level. We're going to talk online. We're going to talk LAN. We're going to talk, you know, all these big events. But let's start kind of at the base. We're going to start talking about online, how this is going to work. So
don't scare the people.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to this. So, you know, you hear online, you might get a little bit nervous, but things are changing this year. But let's start with what's staying the same. So, like previous seasons for the CWL, we're going to offer online ladders for player to compete in. There's going to be weekly tournaments to compete in as well. Pro points will be back, and players from the same 3 regions, you're talking North America, Europe, and APAC, will have a chance to compete in both live and online competitions for these pro points. They're going to be used to seed online events and tournaments, but kind of talk to me about now how it's going to be a little bit different, Joe.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than the past. Online competitions such as ladders and weekly tournaments will still be how players from around the world get involved in the CWL. You watch these guys, how do I get to that point? And that's really what online is about. It is that entry-level system for aspiring teams and players. For the pro players, though, for the top guys, it's all about LAN. And we'll get into more details about the importance of LAN events when we discuss the CWL Pro League qualification. Stay tuned for more of those details on online activities surrounding the CWL and Black Ops 4 season, and get ready for ladders to go live after the game launches on October 12th. Make sure you follow the CWL Twitter and just see when more information drops.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff to come. Again, we're keeping it kind of high level for now, but for the pro players out there, if you're the cream of the crop, you're not going to have to worry about necessarily as much online play when it comes to qualifying for various stuff throughout the course of the year. So let's start talking about the LANs, what everybody's curious about. We're going to start talking about the first one. Now, we obviously kind of had this reveal back in the grand finals, back in the CWL Championship. Huge shout out to EG, by the way, on getting that victory. There were some doubters. I was one of them. Sometimes I was even called a hater, but they were able to get the victory. Another win for Aches, an incredible result for that team. But again, back then we discussed our first event in December. Where are we going, Joe?
Yeah, if you missed that announcement, we're headed to CWL Las Vegas, and that'll take place December 7th through the 9th.
Back to Vegas, baby. You know, the last event there was an incredible time. I'm excited to get back. I just need to use some self-control in that particular city, but it should be one hell of a time. Now, I do want to talk a bit now about pool play, because this is one of the big question marks of players, fans. How is this going to work? Because it's changed at times over the year. Talk to me about this. For the 2019 season, heading into Vegas, how does pool play work, Joe?
Yeah, so we'll still have 16 teams, to start in that pool play, but 12 of those teams will automatically qualify for pool play in Vegas, based on the standings in Stage 2 of the CWL Pro League of last year's World War II season. Though there are some roster rules associated with those organizations retaining those spots, 8 additional teams determined by pro points from World War II season will compete in a relegation-style tournament to determine 4 spots Thursday of CWL Vegas. So you have 12 teams from Stage 2.
All right.
Then you'll have 8 teams based on that, pro points from World War II, and they're going to play for 4 spots the Thursday before the tournament begins.
So this is going to be, you're not going to have necessarily that online grind to begin the season, right? It's going to be placements from Stage 2, and then also that relegation tournament kind of kick things off, have a little play in. So everything's going to be on LAN for that. And again, there are going to be some roster rules involved. We just aren't the 2 people you want to have break that down. Well, actually, you might be. I should not be talking roster rules at all. But there's going to be more basically about how the roster rules break down right after this broadcast. So there's going to be a blog post which is going to include a lot of this stuff. So if you're an up-and-coming player out there, if you're a professional player that competed last year, you could read through the blog post, understand how everything is going to work with regards to pool play for CWL Vegas.
Yeah, it should be a great time, and that is correct. But there's been a big change to roster rules for LAN competition. The CWL is removing the roster restriction for LAN play, which means teams can put together a squad of top players from around the world to compete at CWL LAN competitions.
And we're going back. I mean, when you think about the inception of the Call of Duty World League, we've kind of had the region lock, right? Like we haven't experienced it since, I think, back to what, like Advanced Warfare. maybe with that AW team, or what was it? You had Aches, TP, Jerd, and Moose, I believe, on a team. That failed spectacularly. But that's an example of when you have one of these international teams come together. So, I don't know, are you kind of excited to see it? Maybe you have some team together, Europe, North America, APAC, North America, some team of superstars?
Absolutely. I mean, that's always been the one big thing, especially teams out of Europe. You know, there's always a couple of players from Europe who we think, oh, they can compete on the best teams in North America. Even from APAC. Is this the time now where they get a shot at winning a couple of championships?
It's incredibly exciting, and I'm interested to see what rosters really end up coming together. But there is another big note from CWL Vegas. So not only are these players and teams going to be competing for pride, prestige, money, there is more to it. We're talking qualification for the actual Pro League. So the top 4 teams from this event, you know, your first, second, third, fourth, those 4 teams are going to qualify into the Pro League, Joe.
Yep, that is a great start to the year. So if you get top 4 at Las Vegas, you will automatically qualify for the 2019 CWL Pro League.
Can you kind of talk to me a little bit then about how the rest of this is going to break down? Like, how are all these teams going to be in the Pro League? Because this is a big change when you talk about how the qualification process works.
No, it absolutely is. So for our second event of this upcoming season, live from the MLG Arena in Columbus, Ohio, we'll have the CWL Pro League qualifier LAN to determine the remaining 12 teams of the CWL Pro League.
I mean, you obviously were a professional player for a long time. You've got to love to see this, right? You know, get away from the online play, put this all on LAN to decide who the best teams in the world are going to be for the Pro League.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how do you qualify for the LAN, right? That's the next big question. So it's going to be the 28 teams besides the top 4 at Vegas. So if you're top 32, you will be invited to compete for a shot to make it into the Pro League.
And we'll have more details on format and how all that'll break down soon. But yes, you're hearing it correctly. Everything is going to be on LAN to determine those teams that are going to qualify to get in. So yeah, top 32, that's all you need to go. Get top 32 at Vegas. You have a chance to get into that Pro League. It's going to be incredibly exciting, Mark.
No, it definitely is. So that first event, again, just so important. But if you can get top 32, you have a shot at making it into that, that CWL Pro League, which, is the best competition in the world. And, well, there will be more details to come about roster rules and format in the blog post we keep.
Well, yeah, basically, guys, we want to have a 30-minute or so show. If we broke down every single rule here, we'd be here all day. So there will be a blog post.
The handbooks are long.
A lot of text you guys can read through and see everything breaks down immediately following the broadcast. So keep an eye out for that yet again. But now we talked about kind of the first event. Online play, how that's going to work, how to qualify now for the Pro League. Let's talk a little bit about the Pro League structure. So last season we had the Pro League. It was 2 divisions of 8. So you had 16 total teams. It was an 18-week gauntlet in the 2 stages. This season we're making some changes. We want this to be the best competitive broadcast in CWL history, Joe.
Yeah, I think the first big news that really the number one thing is, well, the 2019 CWL Pro League will now be a single-stage series with one playoff event at the end of the season. What does that mean? Well, you could say goodbye to relegation. This is going to be the best team. Best team is made up of the best players around the world competing for one goal, playoffs.
And there's some other changes within here. I mean, this is definitely going to be a big change, and make sure you pay attention throughout this, especially if you're one of those players that might be competing within this Pro League. So you're still going to have the 8 teams in 2 divisions. However, this season we will introduce cross-divisional play. So think about last year. There were all those moments. Is Division A stronger? Is Division B stronger? This side's better at hardpoint. This team's better at search. Now we'll see that cross-play, and I think that goes a long way to likely showing who the best teams are within the divisions.
Well, people are always comparing how one really, competed at a tournament. Look at Anaheim, where there was one division where 6 of them were the top 8. I believe it was Division A. There was just 2 teams that really snuck on through. And, well, we're going to see them sort of go against one another.
And then there's one more note to this as well, which I think is something you'll like as fans. It entertains me as casters, also as pro and maybe aspiring players. But, it's been interesting when you talk about roster mania. When I first joined Call of Duty, if you're talking back, I know you've been around a lot longer, but back in Black Ops 2, it felt like there were changes like every week. Like there were constant roster mania went on. Like we had the ESR show, like literally half the talks were roster mania. It was going on constantly. With the structure of the CWL, obviously there was a lot more room for these teams to grow. You were locked in the teams for a longer period of time, but a lot of that madness and excitement kind of evaporated at times. Now there's going to be a bit of a middle ground. There's going to be much more windows, much larger windows to actually make these changes. That's going to be huge.
No, it definitely is. I mean, there's just going to be so many sort of big moments throughout the season. I can't wait to it, but that's not the last thing.
Okay.
We're also adding something new. We're introducing a little extra incentive for each team in the Pro League, a match win bonus. Every match in the regular season, you come out on top. Your team scores some bonus earnings. That's base prizing for making it to Pro League. That's a win bonus for every match, and of course, we have our playoff prize pool. So you don't want any of those teams that are performing bad to really give up. If you want to win as many matches as you can to win some more money.
Well, you just think about, maybe earlier this year, you had a team like Epsilon, just as an example,
yeah.
you struggled. You didn't have a great stage. But, with the way they were struggling, when there's not a lot of play for, you can't get into playoffs, it's sort of, I don't know, it kind of hinders maybe the motivation to improve. But now, when you're playing for a paycheck, when you're playing for a little bit of pride, I mean, obviously you're playing for pride to begin with, but that doesn't pay the bills. Now some extra cash, that's got to be huge, right?
I even look at it the other side, right? You have such a good team, right? We always talked about how Luminosity throughout, stage 1, when they were just testing sort of their map pool. Are you going to do that, right? Are you going to?
You're going to hammer people now,
exactly.
right?
You're going to want to win as much as possible, so you're really winning as much money as you can.
Absolutely. But, we really think these 12 weeks of play in the Pro League, when you're taking a look at the cross-divisional play, the one division, the money for the matches, we absolutely think this is going to lead into what we think can be the most competitive Pro League ever in the history of the CWL. And, guys, that is going to be beginning in February of 2019. The CWL Pro League is going to kick off at the MLG Arena, but that's going to bring us to another point then, Joe. I know we've got a lot of changes, a lot of exciting changes for the Pro League, but there's one last surprise here that we're going to get into. So we know the Pro League playoffs are a very big deal. We think that it needs to get bigger, Joe.
That is correct. The CWL Pro League playoffs will now be called the CWL Finals. They'll be hosted in a venue for fans from around the world to travel to and celebrate the best of Call of Duty esports. We love Columbus, we love the arena, but we think it's time we share the playoffs with the fans.
Yeah, it's just, just think about last year. We had the Stage 1 final, one of the greatest finals of the year, right? It was, 2 best-of-5s, Optic versus FaZe. You had the crazy comeback map 1, the Attach 1v3, the Replays 1v3, and it was epic. And the fans there were great. But when you talk about the arena, we have, 100, 150 fans there. Now, we're going to a major venue. You're going to be able to travel it and watch it, and trust me, playoffs is some of the best competition throughout the course of the year, and the CWL Finals should be absolutely incredible. But before we move on to leveling up the amateur scene, I do want to take a look at some of the highlights from the Pro League, because if you didn't watch, the Pro League was absolutely incredible this year. It was highly competitive. Teams battling out over the course of 18 weeks. Let's take a look at some of the incredible moments.
Come on. I see all of you guys fighting, man.
The time has finally come. The CWL Pro League underway.
Rise Nation say, let me prove that I'm the
Those
number 1
hit
team in
markers
Division
sound
A.
like
Stomp and statement for Rise Nation.
Home sweet home, and Evil Geniuses will fall to 7th place.
And E United are headed to playoffs.
Oh my God! That's one way to get streaks.
It goes to Formal, and there's the clutch in the 1v2.
It's all up to Kenny.
But the thing is that they're gonna have 6 million prize pool. If they get that for zombies, it's gonna be really good. See you later, Rana. I hope they drop a zombie trailer right after this one, man, for 9. But it's probably not gonna happen. Kind of patiently waiting. Once these zombies don't care about this. But man, Fortnite, not sure what was the maximum amount of money Fortnite had for the tournaments. This is gonna have 6 million. I mean, if you're into that scene, that's kind of cool. I might actually do some trials for the blackout, that blacknut. All right, let's get back. Let's see what they got, and we're gonna chill at the end. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time. Stage 2.
We've been waiting what feels like forever for this one.
These guys want to beat the hell out of each other.
Has one yes, going on with the pistol and E United have done it once again.
This guy's high on G Fuel.
I think that's it, Clint.
And
they gotta drop Nesquik there,
once again for Evil Geniuses.
They need to have like some Nesquik there, man, because G Fuel is upping their tolerance level. That's bad for health. Damn, son. As you guys can see, easy claps.
Our Astro Gaming MVP for all of Stage 2, Kenny.
$0 slow to Fortnite, 100 million now.
I'm excited to get the Pro League off the ground, but Joe, let's talk about kind of other events, amateur scene. We got a lot to cover.
Yeah, we absolutely do. After CWL Vegas and the CWL Pro League qualifier event, more events, of course we have more events, are coming to the CWL calendar this season. Returning are the CWL's open brackets available for any team in the world to compete in. But for the 2019 season, we wanted to elevate amateurs more than we ever have in the past. In the past, open bracket teams would square off on the main stage against the best teams in the world, the Pro League teams. And
do we call it squaring off sometimes?
It wasn't too pretty.
Yeah, this is the goal here, guys. You know, when you think about these amateur teams going through the open bracket, I mean, a lot of times, honestly, they're coming in. There's like this illusion of this path to pro. Like they come through the open bracket, they get to pool play, they get smoked more often than not. Yes, is there this Cinderella story a couple times a year? Maybe, if we're lucky. But for the most part, they get to pool play. They struggle to even win a match. They might play competitive here and there. But this whole path to pro system, you know, it's been a struggle for amateur players. So I want to talk a little bit more about, I guess, how amateurs now have a chance to, I guess, to really shine, not just running into teams that, I mean, if you're Optic Gaming, you're playing an amateur team that came into pool play, you know, oh, we're going to 3-0 smoke to move on to the next series. Like, you want to get rid of that.
No, we absolutely do. This season, the CWL is taking a big step to change that by splitting pro and amateur competition. We think this system will be more exciting for players outside of the Pro League, right? It will give them a chance to showcase their skill against teams that are at equal level. And let's not forget, they're going to get their own prize and their own trophy to play for.
Well, that's the big thing. I mean, typically, just getting in the money was what seemed an almost impossible task for some of these amateur teams. But now you have this chance to shine. You have the chance to make money. You have a chance to win that trophy as well. It's really, really, really exciting stuff. Just, I don't know, for these amateur players to have a chance, really, just to show what they're capable of and not just get to that point and then get slaughtered at times.
Yeah, and that's the
amateur players
right?
equal
really
ball players,
grab
basically.
The attention of the Pro League teams and make a statement for their place in the pro level CWL competition, and potentially, well, they'll get signed by a team.
We mentioned the fact that there's going to be more roster mania, right? There's going to be more windows where these teams can make changes, and now, you know, I feel like you have that opportunity as an amateur player. If you're smoking the rest of these amateur players, like if you look like you're just a level above, maybe that's when you get that call up, right? Maybe that's when that comes through. But this is a new structure for the CWL. We're trying to level up the amateur scene. We're trying to put the best matches on the main stage as the focus. It all culminates in the amateurs having their own playoffs too. So they're going to have their very own playoffs, and that's going to be alongside the Pro League CWL finals. So every team's goal is obviously champs, and yeah, I think we failed to mention that.
Appreciate subscribing, Valrus.
This amateur playoff, it's going to go off alongside the finals. Also going to be the LCQ for champs, right?
Yeah. So this is really their big spotlight, right? This is their stage. It is the amateur stage now, right? I mean, we have so much focus on the Pro League teams of
dude, come on, what's wrong with you, Isa XL? What's wrong with you, man? This ball man is a G, my guy. Why are you trying to say, can someone stop that ball man?
The biggest moment of the year. EG were just able to do it at Nationwide Arena. If you missed the event, you were living under a rock. It was one of the best events of the year.
Do you guys want to see the cube move in Fortnite? Should I put that up to entertain you guys?
Look, it's some of the best moments.
All right, they got more best moments. I mean, yeah, it's not like super entertaining. I'm kind of like dying over here, not gonna lie. But should I put up like the cube move in Fortnite? Will that entertain you guys? And yeah, zombies is basically the same thing, just like everything else is AZY Chef, dude. So everything is repetitive, dude. Everything is. And I also die of boredom for going round 100. That's why I don't go. I just try like round 30 once in a while. So it's fun to play that game once in a while. There are other games to play, so it's whatever you play. If you play the same thing over and over, it's gonna be boredom for sure. So you gotta try out other stuff. So not really sure what you're trying to say or what you're trying to like. Let people do that. Like I can show you guys my sub box. We got big plays by the boys here. Real quick, let me refresh that. We got the big plays, man. My sub box is all about Fortnite, man. We got Cube is going. Damn, son. See, that's where the cool kids at. I need to be the one to stream that Fortnite Q move and easy claps. Easy claps. My boy Avery is actually on that Fortnite Q moving. Like, yo, damn, son. Avery's a legend. So while they're actually doing the best clips, we're gonna see a little bit of that. Only for 2 seconds, alright? Only for 2. Oh, damn, son. That's where the cube is. Damn, son. Alright, I'm gonna watch the cube move on the other monitor. I'm gonna get entertained, you know? I'm gonna get entertained. But to play one mod is play every single thing. Play every single thing you can.
Final. Replays watching mid-map. Is he gonna spot it? No replays go down, and there's the
prize pools for amateur players, including me, is one for struggle players.
This is the grand final at the 2018 CWL Championship.
Is that?
It's gonna be unfair to make the
Yo, is that the Root Sandstorm, bro?
It's over. He's got it.
Wait.
There it is.
So yeah, they have the Root Sandstorm playing.
This is it. Under 60 seconds to go. More streaks coming in. The EG fans start to celebrate. The EG players know they've got this in the bag. Evil Geniuses, as an organization, get that first World Championship.
I've been without a championship for a while, and I finally did it.
Columbus, make some noise for your champions, EG!
Agarthan, do not remove comments like that.
What an incredible moment for Evil Geniuses.
Diamond.
What an insane event we had, and there's more to come in 2019. But before we go, let's recap some of the insane announcements that we've had for the upcoming year. Let's start with the first one, the removal of region restrictions for CWL LAN events.
Yeah, and then we'll have top 4 at Vegas make it to the Pro League. Followed by that, we'll have a qualifier for Pro League for remaining 12 spots soon after.
Also, win bonuses for each match in the Pro League in addition to base prizing.
We'll have a single-stage Pro League with cross-divisional games and a dedicated event for playoffs, which means no more relegation.
Giving amateur players their own circuit and prize pool beginning in 2019.
We'll have 6 CWL events this season, including Vegas CWL playoffs and champs.
And last but not least, yes, we're going to 5v5, and with that, a massive bump in the prize pool. We are going up to $6 million. I don't even know how that didn't make the bullet points, because that might be the biggest one for me, Joe. $6 million on the line. We are incredibly excited to get started. And with that, we know it's a big change. 5v5, it's going to be awesome, but we know the players need time to adapt, and you've got some extra time. So the first event is not until December. This gives you, kind of like an extra month when you think about it, because typically on launch day, right, if you were a pro player, you had to get right into competing in these online platforms, but everything is fed into the Pro League from LAN. So you have some extra preparation time. And also, Joe, we're going to have more to reveal.
Including the evolution of the National Circuit program, roster rule changes for Pro League, and details on roster restrictions based on regions. You're going to want to visit callofduty.com/CWL for a blog post that'll have even more details about what we revealed today.
The CWL evolves every year. We want to make it better every single year. I've been here since the inception back in Black Ops 3. It's been incredible to see really adaptations across League Ops, for the broadcast, for what we do for players. It's been awesome to watch it improve, and we expect more improvements in an incredible season with the Call of Duty World League in 2019 for Black Ops 4. And guys, it's going to be the biggest season ever. We're going to see you December 7th when we kick off the year with Las Vegas. It's an incredible city. It's going to be an incredible tournament. Thank you guys for coming out and watching. There's been a lot announced, and don't forget, there will be a blog post posted shortly after this. You can go through everything, see it in text form, kind of digest everything that we broke down. But for Merc and myself, we are incredibly excited. We cannot get enough of Black Ops 4. We can't wait for the launch on October 12th. We'll see you guys then.
Oh, finally. Finally. All right, let's see. Let's see if they get a Zombies trailer up. Oh, man, I was dying. But man, guys, it was supposed to be like that. Obviously, you think that they're gonna watch like the Q move in Fortnite? You think they're gonna watch the Q move in Fortnite or some shit like that? Love my boy Avery, 110% Avery. If you're listening, dude, I got subscription. I like this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, love my boy Avery, and nothing wrong in watching the Q move. But do you guys want to like watch the Q move in Fortnite? We can actually hang out and shit like that and wait for the trailer. Yo, AYG, it was meant to be like that, man. What you guys think? Like they're gonna have life ain't no sunshine, ain't no rainbow. Damn, son. Appreciate the two. All right, let's go over on Twitter and check out
what absolute dog shit.